Okay, so after the dog food store scenario, um, I can't be sure. I don't think I saw him again. Maybe, but I'm not. I really couldn't say. Definitely not like that. You know, it's possible he could have walked past me or like I don't, but I couldn't possibly be sure. And like I said, I've never talked to this person before ever, and that's pretty much it. I did think though for a while though that this man could be working over at the Herald Times, and I was wrong, and I'm very embarrassed by that. I thought that, and I wrote a letter saying as much, and I had horrible consequences to that um, because uh, my ability to parent was questioned, and I was referred to Child Protective Services because of that. And they thought, I guess, that I was mentally unstable because I said in that letter that I thought Steve Jobs could be alive or that there was a look-alike. I think I said that it was either him or a look-alike. And because I had thought that, and um, that made me mentally unstable and not capable of taking care of my son. And that was really awful. That was really, really awful. And so, I don't forget that. Uh, it's pretty clear that if I even mention his name, Child Protective Services could come at my door and investigate me simply because I mentioned that there was someone that looked like him. That could have been him, but I even said if it was a look-alike, that I wasn't sure. I was very clear about that. I didn't know. I still don't know. Um, but what it did lead to was me being, they came to my house and they treated me very badly. They treated my son very badly. They went to his school, pulled him out of class, pulled him out of line, not even out of class, out of line. He didn't know who it was. His teacher didn't tell him who it was. To him, it was a complete stranger that was allowed to come into school and take him out of, he was in line to go to lunch or to recess. And then she talked to him. She was nice enough, but he didn't know who she was. And there was no teacher that said, oh, this person's safe, you can go talk to her. Nobody came, nobody explained anything to him. And he has Asperger's. He needs these things explained to him. I need them explained to me. I don't want to think that a person can just walk into my son's school and simply pull him out, take him into an office and talk to him any way they please, even if they're being nice. I don't know this person. I don't know who that is. I don't know how they got there. I don't know what they're doing there. They told me after the fact. But when I asked Noah, he didn't know. Okay? He didn't know. When I asked his teachers didn't know. No one knew how this person got into the building, even though it was legitimate. It turned out it was legitimate. But the process, the way it happened, okay, was just wrong and devastating. And then to add insult to injury, my parenting was questioned. They came and interviewed me, laughing, mind you, laughing the whole time, making jokes about it. Okay? I'm devastated, and they're making jokes about it, and making jokes about where my husband comes from. The interview is supposed to be about how if I'm a fit parent. The interview is not supposed to be about the fact that my husband was born in Passaic, New Jersey, um, and it's not funny. It, it's not funny. But that's how it deteriorated to an extent that was surreal. And then I had to go and get a psychiatric evaluation. I wasn't required to get one. The way they put it to me was that I could either accept their psychiatric evaluation, meaning someone with no credentials, who has never taken a class, who has no degree in psychology, It's a person that was simply hired by Child Protective Services to work there. I could either accept that person's evaluation of my mental stability, or I could pay for a professional to give me an evaluation, and they would use that one. They would not pay for the professional evaluation. I would have to pay for it out of pocket. Okay, simply because someone had turned me in as a possible danger. And keep in mind that um, while that happened, that someone had to have uh, thought there was something wrong with me. Okay, the steps that were taken were to go into my son's school, pull him out, put him in an office, and talk to him without referring to the teacher, the principal, anybody. Nobody knew. Okay, come to my house, make jokes to me to my face, tell me that I'm the one who needs a psychiatric evaluation, and tell me that I can either accept what they say is my psychiatric evaluation, or I can pay $700 and get my own professional one that I would um, deem as more credible, because I certainly don't want the same person that pulled my son out of school without anyone's knowing about it, who came to my house laughing at me. I certainly don't want that person's evaluation about my mental well-being. You know, I want a professional one. So I paid $700 to have it done, and I'm fine. Uh, but all of that stemmed from me writing a letter saying that I saw someone I thought was like Steve Jobs, maybe looked like him, and that I was in love with this person, you know, because of what I had seen at the stupid dog food store and at the Wonder Lab. So I don't like to bring it up anymore. I'm terrified, right? Because the last time I brought it up, look what happened. There was a threat that my son could be taken away from me. Who in their right mind is going to, you know, you'll do everything you can, because that is not acceptable. Having my son taken away from me is not acceptable. Um, so I left it at that. Okay, but now I see this killing with my son's name on it in Sandy Hook Elementary. I went through what I went through, but my son is alive. You saw, I mean, in other words, he's constantly trying to photobomb me. He's such a ham. You know, he just comes in and shows up, and he's climbing up and down and making his thing, you know, because that's the way he is. He's a goofball. He's 10 years old. He acts like all the other 10-year-olds in his class. He's doing it right now. I can hear him. So I don't know what to do or say, because I see all of this happening, and the only person who I can think that could possibly have something to do with all of this would be Lorena Jobs, because um, no other person makes sense. There's no other person I can put in that, you know, in that targeted area that makes sense. Uh, that's the only one that makes sense. And I don't understand, because if Steve Jobs is really dead, then why is she targeting me? Why is all of this happening? You know, it shouldn't be happening. Um, and if she thinks I'm if he is alive and she thinks I'm having something with him, she would be wrong. She's dead wrong. I'm not. And so I'm telling you what I do know, uh, putting it out there, because the reader, the viewer can judge for themselves how credible I am. Because I'm telling you the good and the bad. I'm telling you the things that hurt as well as the things that are funny. Um, and so you can discern for yourself if what I'm saying makes sense and if it seems credible or not. Um, because it's the truth. It's my truth. It's I'm telling you what I experienced. And given what I've experienced, um, these accidents, this massacre, these things that are happening are totally um, disproportionate to anything that is going on. Well, I'm going to take that as a sign that I should stop right here.